Hello there, and welcome to the Disgustingly Healthy Relationship Podcast. I'm Lewis.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are your hosts.
Beautiful people, it's 2024. We are no longer settling for mediocre, toxic, and shitty relationships.
Instead, we are choosing healthy, secure, and conscious love.
Lewis and I are here to challenge and expand you on all fronts when it comes to healthy relationships.
So, if you're ready for unfiltered conversations
and massive impact,
then let's play. Hello, troops, and welcome back. Oh my god, what is this? Episode 20?
Oh, I don't even know. I didn't check.
Oh, goodness. We're right at start. I think it's episode 22.
No, we're way past that now.
No, are we?
Yeah, okay, now
Told you.
No, that's an old
Oh,
episode.
shit.
We're trying to check.
Never mind.
It's
Anyway,
episode 23.
23.
Okay, we're not way past it, but we're past it.
I was close. Anyway, welcome back. Today's episode, we're going to be chatting about, because we're very much in a baby bubble at the moment, and parents and everything.
Oh, that's just like we've had the baby, because that's what people say they're in when they've had their baby.
A baby bubble. Oh, okay.
A pregnancy bubble.
Okay, maybe a pregnancy bubble. That's a
Yeah.
better reframe. So we are in a pregnancy bubble at the moment, and we had a very baby-orientated weekend, and we just kind of got curious about how parents, or if they've got real, like, any insights for us for like first-time parents, and what they've sort of done to cope with that and cope within their first pregnancy and first child, I guess.
Can I interrupt?
Of course you can.
Oh my God, I asked and you let me.
Thank you.
I didn't just do it. Is that better?
We're growing, yeah.
Okay. What was I going to say? Oh no.
There you go.
I remember.
Okay.
I just, when you were saying like, oh, we're in a bit of a pregnancy bubble,
Mm.
I remember like always wondering if that would be me. Like, you know, when you see your friend gets pregnant on social media and then you think, oh gosh, is everything going to be about baby? Yeah. And I thought, oh, I wonder if that would be me. I didn't judge that at all, because like you just don't know how things are going to go for you. But I've always observed that like that's been the case. Like, not for all of my friends, but large majority, like once they fall pregnant, everything is about baby. Yeah. So I was like,
I guess it's just, yeah.
But I feel like it's kind of become us a bit. And I'm not mad about it. It's just like, it's such a big part of our life and like so consuming. Like, it's there, you know, there's a big bump there now. You can't.
Yeah, it's visible. Like, I think as first-time parents, we're still going through the motions, and we're not too sure like how things work, right? So we're constantly trying to get as prepared as we can to just to make sure that we can handle everything that we can. And
but I even just mean like posting on social media, like what I share. Like, if you look at my last load of posts, it's been like
baby.
Yeah.
Baby.
And like, you're right. Like, we've been going into lots of things and attending lots of things and learning and reading and making the podcast, and we've made that our intentional bubble because it's
for sure
important and it's a big part of our lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just meant like social media. Would I be that person that would be like posing with their bump in every photo? I don't know if I've done it in every photo, but I'm aware that this weekend
you did.
Oh no, it wasn't
actually,
that I posed. I've just posted everything about pregnancy, baby.
Yeah, and that's okay, because we're in that bubble this weekend because we attended a breastfeeding class, which was really good. And actually, as a guy, there's a lot of really good, useful information. And I know it might sound tedious, but if you can do anything that you can to support your partner, for me, this is just my opinion. If you can do anything you can to support your partner, even if it's like, I'm never going to breastfeed, I don't have the tits for it, right?
What?
I don't have to put.
Well, you.
I'm not going to breastfeed, am I? No, I'm not going to breastfeed. I thought
you were like pretending you were me.
No,
like,
no.
I was
so
like, I don't have the tits for it. I didn't. I do now. Jesus.
No. So I think if you can go along and to things like that, because there is a lot of information to take in with those kind of classes, and like that breastfeeding class that we did.
I know, you just didn't say it, so I just didn't know if people would know.
I did.
Oh,
I did say it.
I must have zoned out. Sorry.
You did. You're looking at the dogs. That's what you're doing.
They're going mad. They were having a fight, so I got distracted.
Anyway,
sorry.
Let me close this loop.
Yeah.
So, as guys, it's really important for us to take on information, or as much information as we can, because our partners might not. Just as Sarah did, she phased out there and came back. And there's a lot of useful information that might be missed that you will pick up for your partner, which would be quite useful. So I'd encourage any guy or any partner to go along with said mother to be.
Yeah, and on the flip side to that, like from mother perspective,
Mm,
and I guess bearing in mind that a lot of our listeners are maybe not trying to conceive or not pregnant as well,
yeah.
just like being interested in things that are important to your partner, whether that is pregnancy, baby, or whether that's just something else that they're completely interested in. Like the fact that Lewis came to the breastfeeding and sleep class the other day when there was no other dads there, um, like that just made me feel really supported. And even though like I knew some of it maybe wouldn't be entirely relevant for him, a lot of it was because yeah, like if I forget, like Lewis said, he might remember. But just having him there, like it just, I don't know. I was like, oh my God, he cares. He's showing up for me and the baby. Because like a lot of it falls on the mum. Like a lot of responsibility, a lot of the changes, a lot of the weight, it naturally just falls to the mum. So I feel like if there's like a 4-hour workshop that your partner can attend and show up with you to carry a bit of that mental load, do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, whether that is in the context of like parenting babies or whether it's just like your partner is, I don't know, you're both thinking about buying a house and she's doing all the research, like go with her, look into it with her. Or whether you're thinking about moving areas or moving overseas, or if she's like the planner, the doer, like carries a lot of the mental load,
Mm.
like just carry a little bit for her where you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels really good. That's what I'm saying. It feels really nice.
Yeah. And as a guy, I feel like if you're like, I had a little bit of resistance going on Saturday to the breastfeeding class because I was like, oh, my initial instinct was, what am I going to learn? It's all about breastfeeding and sleeping. Okay, cool. Anyway, I went because I knew against my better judgment that it was going to be good for me. And although I held resistance to it, I actually learned a lot more than what I would have. And now I'm in a position that I can help Sarah with whatever she um, just might struggle with, or just with more information. And I feel like I feel like I don't know about you, Sarah, but this day and age, or maybe our generation, I guess, I think a lot of the dads or dads to be are being a lot more hands-on
Millennials
with,
changed that.
yeah, I think men are becoming a lot more hands-on with kids and parenting and learning, which is amazing. I think it's great. Um, and we're seeing that showing up with our friends, and I feel it as well. I feel like I'm supporting you to supporting you to grow a baby, and I know I'm going to be there with you and supporting you through whatever you need. So it's just adopting a really hands-on approach, and I think it's great
Yeah,
for
and look how
guys.
many compliments and comments you got
I
from all
know.
the other women there. Like, I wish my partner was here.
Hmm.
Wow, you must be. What was the words they used? You must be.
Super dad.
Yeah, you could say they said that if you want.
No, I lied. They didn't say that.
No, I know they didn't say that, but I was gonna just let you have it anyway, because yeah, I don't doubt that'll be the case. No, but they were giving you lots of compliments and being like, wow, like how involved, that's amazing, you must be a great partner, literally words to the effect of those kind of things.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were all wishing that their partners were there. And I was like,
Mm.
well, mine is.
And that made you feel good.
Yeah, it did. It did. Not that it's about like proving ourselves to anyone,
No, of course.
to strangers that we've never met, but
But
it made me feel good because I felt supported.
yeah, and I feel good when you feel supported.
Oh my God.
Well,
We're just a great team.
enough.
Oh, you don't think
Yeah,
so?
no, yeah.
We'll cancel the
We are. It's
podcast.
just been very mushy. I love it, and I love you.
I'm being mushy.
Yeah, it's cute.
Oh, okay. Do you want less?
No, not at all.
Okay. Anyway, so I work in child protection and I work directly with the parents and children and run parenting programs and workshops and all of the above when it comes to parenting. But and so like that's given me a real head start in my head, which I've been able to like share with Lewis and unpack. And we've kind of like unpacked our own childhoods and how we were brought up and what we loved about what our parents like how our parents raised us and what we'd want to carry on and maybe what we'd want to do differently. So we've done like loads of reflecting. But then I was just so aware that there were probably loads of things that you don't necessarily hear in parenting programs that I'm not trained in, educated in, knowledgeable on. So I thought, well, who better to ask than our lovely friends and family and listeners on social media what they struggled with. Because we basically wanted to like get a head start. Like, what was your real, raw, honest experiences? And then we wanted to make a bit of a plan together. Like, okay, well, if that was us, how would we handle it? Um, so actually, we had so many replies. This is probably the most engagement that we've had on a post, like
for a while.
in a long time. Yeah. So, and I didn't even realize how many new parents or like parents in general we had on our social media, like that are our age or thereabouts.
Even I got a few, which is great when I repost it on my private.
Yeah, we got heaps. So yeah, we wanted to use this episode to go through what people shared as like their struggles, basically. And then yeah, talk about how we think that we would cope and what our plans will be. Yeah. Because a lot of people replied to the stories that I shared because I reshared everything that everyone said about what their struggles were. And so many people replied to that as well, being like, oh my God, I feel so seen. Oh my God, this is so validating. Oh my God, I wish I knew this before I had my first baby. Like, yeah, it's so true. So I feel like if we share it on the podcast and you're thinking about starting a family, or you want to at some point in the future, or you're just intrigued because you like listening to us because we're funny. I thought this might be helpful for you as well. So my question literally was, what was your biggest struggle as a couple and how did you cope? That was literally the question.
Yeah.
So first point was someone said you lose yourself. Basically, they said losing yourself and trying to remember who they fell in love with. I think it means like trying to remember who their partner fell in love with. So like even though you don't feel yourself, trying to remind yourself like, no, your partner loves you for you, not, does that make sense? I think that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah, kind of not losing yourself in the day-to-days of the mum life or the chores or all the rest of it. It's almost like
but I think also your identity too.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. And yeah, pretty much just remember who you fell in love with.
No, like who they fell, like who their partner
I'm just wrapping my head around it. I think it's worded.
Anyway, we won't dwell on that. Yeah. But the point is, like, you lose yourself. And I've heard that a lot. Like, lots of friends have said, like, yeah, it's really easy to lose your identity as a person, as an individual, when you become a mum. I'm assuming it's the same with dads as well, but I've only had mum's insight on this. Because you just start to identify as mum. And obviously, you park a lot of your hobbies and your interests because you either don't have time, capacity, or desire because you're just so exhausted.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really good point. Like, I guess, how can we support each other to make sure that we don't lose ourselves entirely or we make space for our own interests and hobbies?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of it ties back to having an open line of communication, and having set aside time for us.
But this is on an individual level now, not us.
Okay.
So like what can we do to like ensure that, like, if you notice that like I've not done something for myself in like a week or something that I love, like how can you support me to have time for that or encourage me to do that? Or and it's hard to say because we just don't know, like when we don't know how things are going to go with birth and what, like, well, how well I'll be
in that certain scenario. If I say, for example, I've noticed that you haven't been or went outside for a walk or something like that in like a few days.
Oh gosh.
I'd say, hey, look, I'll look after Bub. Get yourself up, give yourself 10, 20 minutes, go for a walk, put some headphones in.
Stingy bugger.
Well, you can go for it. But baby needs boob. So anyway, something like that. Just encourage you to do the things that like bring you back to you that I know help.
When you think of me, like what makes me on an individual level?
You love to sit and meditate. You love to read.
Yeah, reading.
You love to work out.
Cook.
You love to cook. You love to go for a sea dip. You love to surf.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of great things that you do that you could go out and I know for a fact to say, for example, about oh my God, what happened to my words?
I don't know.
Tongue tied. Say for example, you just go for a little sea dip like we did tonight.
Yeah.
But you just do that by yourself.
Yeah, you tell me to go.
I'll tell you to go. piss off. Get to the ocean.
Politely. Obviously, like this, I guess, is not going to be straight away. Like when I'm healing and things, like I'm expecting that I'm going to be horizontal for a while, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But parenting's for life. So like, I guess how can you support me? And how can I support you? Well, I know I want you to train every day. Like I don't care how healed, unhealed, whatever I am. Like go, it's an hour. I know how much that makes you feel good and feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's probably what I would do for you is be like, just go to the gym.
Yeah, pretty much go to the gym or go out for a walk. Like I forgot how much I enjoy walking without the dogs.
Oh yeah, we don't do that though, that's why.
Yeah, we haven't done that in ages. So any intentional walking is always with the dogs. So I think even going out for a little walk
by yourself
would be quite nice.
Yeah. Okay. So. Noted. Next point. Lack of sleep. Oh, I didn't expect that one to come up. No. They said, so I'm assuming this was from a girl, I can't remember who it was now. We breastfeed. Oh no, this was from a guy. We breastfed and bottle fed. So that way it allowed for me to do a night feed.
Fair.
So that was from a guy. So basically saying like him and his partner, they decided to do both, like breastfeeding and bottle feeding, so that it would take a bit of a pressure off the mum.
How would you feel about that?
I don't want to do that.
That's fine.
I want to only breastfeed. And I don't mind. Like after that like breastfeeding and birth class that we went to the other day, there's so many like comfortable, easy ways that you can breastfeed in bed.
Oh yeah.
Without needing to fully like wake up and make a bottle and like disrupt the sleep of everyone with bright lights and things. So I'm kind of okay if we don't do that. I'm so aware that like lack of sleep is going to come up, and that is one thing that we've already talked about. Is it like how I asked you like what are you triggers? Like? Yeah. No, what do you like if you're really tired? Like what's your breaking point? Like what happens to you if you get really, really tired, overtired kind of thing, and you didn't even really know? No. So this is going to be fun.
I think I've got a little. I know I've got a little bit of a shorter temper. I'm a little bit less impatient.
Oh yeah,
I'm more impatient. And
oh no, I've said that when you're hungry.
Yeah, I think same. Really, I go a bit quieter. I just don't talk really when I'm tired. I save energy. Concentrating, I guess. I don't know.
I just cry. I think I told you, didn't I? Yeah. Because I had Bodhi was a nightmare puppy, like actual nightmare. And I think maybe for like 3 months, 4 months, she didn't sleep a full night. So it was like having a newborn baby. And I just have a meltdown and I just can't do it. I'm exhausted. Like if I get to that point, like help, intervene. Oh yeah. I need help.
No, I will.
But I don't feel like it.
I don't think it'll get to that point, but then we just don't know.
It might, but I think I wouldn't need to ask help. You'd see that and be like, "What? Swoop in anyway." Like, do what you can, kind of thing.
Give me it.
But yeah, I don't know. Tiredness does crazy things to people. The next point. This is from another guy as well. So for Lewis, have one-handed care package ready: crisps, remote, sandwich, drink. So basically, like, I think what they're implying is if you get nap trapped, like you're laying down and the baby's stuck on you, or you're doing something with the baby, or you're carrying the baby, and you need something like a remote, or I think it's probably the baby sleeping, isn't it? If referring to if the baby's sleeping, you want to have everything to hand because you don't want to disturb that baby.
Oh, for sure. Like, I will be tiptoeing around it, or just not moving at all.
Well, I feel like the points that I've learned are that like you should make noise.
Yeah, you should make
because
noise.
There's never going to be there's never going to be the ultimate perfect climate that's silent for them all the time. Like you actually want them to be able to fall asleep. Yeah, with a little bit of background noise. And we've had dogs. Like to be honest, the baby will have heard them barking by now anyway. So hopefully that's something that they get used to. But yeah, I think how can we ensure that happens? Lots of protein bars in the house.
Yeah, if we've got protein bars, maybe cans of fizzy juice.
If you know you're gonna sit fizzy juice.
I like fizzy juice.
I know you do. I guess if you know that you're about to lay down.
Yeah. I'll just make sure I get it prepped. Have little things at hand. Or maybe get a box. Get a chocolate box. Chocolates and treats.
The dogs will find it, and like if it I was thinking like we could stash protein bars around, but like the dogs would find them.
We can't do that.
The dogs would be absolutely hench, like massive because they've eaten so many protein bars.
Could you imagine they're on a bulk. Getting Finley on a bulk.
But yeah, I guess like we just ordered a nursing chair.
Yeah, we did.
Which is basically like a rocking chair that's like super comfy, like a granddad chair.
Yeah, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, but I guess we could put like there's a little pocket in the side. We could put things in there as well.
Hell yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and like make sure there's like a charging cable nearby just in case, or a book, or I don't know. Yeah, that's a really good point there.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation. Yeah.
Yeah, we're chatting about that.
Yeah, I'm really grateful that my mum and dad are going to be able to come out as well. Mum for 4 weeks and then dad for 3 weeks, because I feel like while I or you try and sleep in the day, hopefully they can just take care of a few things, please, mum and dad, if that's okay.
Hopefully.
The next one, this one came up a lot actually. I don't know if I really thought about it much, to be honest. So this person has said feeling resentful to your partner because you have to do everything as mum. I feel like I'll have to do everything in terms of like I'll be the primary attachment and like care and support for the baby and the feeder.
Yeah.
So like in that respect, but I don't know if that will apply to us in terms of everything. Well, I know it won't apply to us in terms of everything else.
No, because like I said at the very start, I feel like I'll be quite hands-on and I'll take care of the things that you won't have too much capacity for.
Yeah, household stuff.
And that's household stuff, dogs,
feed me,
cooking, cleaning, feeding you, and like changing bub and stuff.
Yeah, changing stinky butts. I don't want to see a dirty nappy.
Standard. You won't even pick up a dog poo these days.
You're the poopy man.
I am the poop man.
I am the poop man.
I am the poop man.
Yeah, I feel like that's a song. No, I'm thinking I am the music man.
He lives from far away.
Yeah, but you're the poopy man. I am the poopy man. Yeah, okay, anyway.
I know.
Someone else has said you will need him like you haven't before because your freedom is gone, so make sure he shares the load. Yeah, it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
and I mentioned in my reply to this one, I don't know if you've been listening to our episodes from the very beginning, you'll remember that Lewis and I, Lewis, my new boyfriend, Lewis.
Sounds awful.
Quincy, but Lewinsy.
What? You're thinking about Incy Spider now.
I don't know. Anyway,
honestly.
I think the Oreos that I just ate, the sugars hit.
Oh God.
Anyway, earlier episodes, you'll remember that we talked about the relationship expectations quiz / questionnaire that we did like really early on into our relationship, which actually talked about being a parent. Do you remember? It talked about things like who will take responsibility for taking the bins out when you're children and who will take care of this and that and changing nappies. And so we actually already got really clear at the very beginning what our expectations were separately, came together, compared the questionnaires and made a plan. Okay, your expectation was that, I would do the bins, but I like basically God, I'm not doing a very good job of explaining this. My brain has just gone to mush. Anything that was different, so anything we had different expectations on, we basically made a plan on how we would work them together. And it wasn't like your expectation was wrong and mine was right.
No, it's a collaboration at the end of the day, right? A partnership is a collaboration. And we just collaborated on the answers that we didn't really match on. And that's okay.
There wasn't actually that many.
No, there wasn't at all.
There were so many similarities. I was like, phew.
Yeah, which is great. And also, if you want that relationship expectation form, then just reach out and message us. We will happily send it along to you.
Yeah, no matter where you are in your relationship, like new, long-term, trying for a baby, like it's really helpful because they're just things that we assume, like they can cause conflict as well. Like if Lewis and I went into being parents now and I had this expectation that he would do nappies and he's like, I'm not fucking changing a dirty nappy. Like imagine in the midst of like the moment the baby's nappy's dirty, you're looking at him, he's looking at you. Like it's just unnecessary tension. Like just get clear on it early on to save the awkwardness and the discomfort. Next one, competing against this actually came up 3 times now.
Okay.
Yeah. So this person has worded it as competing against each other about who is the most tired or who has done the most that day / week. I can still see how that would be a thing. I can
see how that's a thing. I don't think we've ever been like that though.
I think we've maybe done it like once or twice, but like not in a serious way.
Yeah.
In just like
there's been no malice behind it. It's just been like an acknowledgement of how our week's been.
Yeah, or like, we always joke about, we say that you should never say never and always in a relationship. Like you never do this, you always do this. I feel like we do it in a jokey way. So we'll be like, you'll say to me, oh, you never take the dogs out and pick up poo anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I always have to do it because we're intentionally trying to use the never and the always as a joke.
Yeah.
But there is like an element of like, well, yeah, I don't. Like we're definitely joking because it's something that we've pre-agreed and discussed and stuff. But like
we just joke about it.
Maybe that's the extreme of it.
Maybe, yeah.
Anyway, the next one was if you're breastfeeding, the dad can't always do much for baby, but they can do everything else. Yeah, okay. So that's literally supporting what we were just saying, isn't it? Like you do everything else that you can. Like where you have capacity as well. Like if you generally don't have the time or can't, like we'll just have to figure that out, I guess, won't we? But I feel like you're going to be around quite a lot.
Yeah, I will be.
So yeah, next one. This one, when I reshared this, so many people commented saying, oh my God, yes, this is a thing. Seeing your significant other walk out the door freely can be really hard and stir up resentment.
Interesting.
I never thought about it.
Neither. Yeah, I can completely understand and see why that could create some resentment.
Yeah, another one of my friends gave like a really good example on what that looked like. Let me see if I can find it. It was on Instagram.
But yeah, can totally understand why that would be or could play a role in resentment. However, resentment sort of derives from closed loops of communication, right? I think it
Not
could.
necessarily. Like, I think even if I talk to you and say, hey, you're able to do more than me right now, it doesn't change the fact that you're able to do more than me. So I can still feel that resentment, even though it's not like personal towards you. This is just me thinking about how it could play out. Like, even though it's not personal towards you, it's not because it's not like you should be doing more. I think that feeling maybe could even exist towards other people, not just you. Like, oh, my friends can still go out and do this and they've got this freedom and I can't now. Like, I can so see how that would be a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, my friend gave this really good example. She's like, I'd need to ask my partner like for help just so that I could go to the bathroom, make a drink, and then my partner would just head outside as if it just popped into his head to weed the garden, and yet I hadn't even had the freedom to shower that day. I'm like, yeah, shit, like I just went out into the garden, pottering around. I was like, oh, I might put up some weeds and sweep. Like that, you just can't just do those kind of things now without thinking, oh shit, the baby. So yeah, like that freedom kind of gets taken away from you, doesn't it? Like you as well, like there'll be things now that you'll have to consider. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't just go out and do this. I should check.
Yeah.
Like what?
I think in general I'm pretty mindful.
Oh yeah.
Of you, your time, your space, your energy, and what you might need and what you might not need.
And baby.
And baby.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm just speaking about right now, but I can imagine with baby it's going to be a lot more pronounced.
The next one is the follow-on. It says your independence and alone time also need to be prioritized, which is what we already talked about.
Yeah, we talked about that at the start. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So it's come up a few times.
Yeah. So giving you the time.
Yeah.
To do things yourself is important, which I know and understand.
This one really resonated with me because we've talked about this actually, you and I have. Learning your different ways of parenting and trying not to be a micromanager mum. I told you, didn't I? Well, you know that I love things to be my way and like to have control over things and to just have things in order and be like clean and neat and tidy, like not in an obsessive way, but I don't know, it just makes me feel nice. I guess.
Yeah.
I just like that order.
Yeah.
I have military parents. Both parents were in the military, so it's like.
So you can understand why Sarah's like this.
Yeah, why am I like this?
It's not to say I'm not though. I feel like I like a clean and tidy house.
I just have weirder ways of doing things.
Yeah, you've got like super particular ways about where things should be in particular. And if it's as soon as it's out of place, you're like, why is that moved? No. And then I'll notice and it's gone back to the original place. I moved like a picture frame like a quarter of an inch
Did you
like to the right. Back? And then you fucking put it back. I'm staring at it right now.
Or like Lewis will leave his hat on the dining room table every time he comes into the house. And I'm like,
it's convenient.
Can you please put this hat away? Like 12 times maybe. And then at the end, I was like, if I see this hat on the table one more fucking time, I'm going to fucking burn it. Like joking, but also like, I think one time you came home and you were like, my hat's not there. You didn't actually burn it, did you?
Yeah, literally.
No.
Yeah, but
I just put it in the spare room. You're like, oh, thank God.
Well, I'm glad to let everybody know that it's still intact to this day.
Yeah,
It's a
and
bit,
I
it's a
have
bit grotty.
only seen it on the table maybe twice since then. So
Mm.
I think mine's on the table more now. No, I'm
It is,
joking.
yeah. Hypocrite.
My standards, my way. Anyway, going back to the point,
Yeah, I think.
I've said to you, like, you know all those things about me anyway. So I've said I'm really gonna need to focus on like letting go and just like letting letting the play be led by the child, which I know is super important anyway. But I know that they're just gonna bring up feelings in me that I'm gonna have to deal with. Like it's gonna be just there's gonna be a lot of discomfort in that area. Even with, like in things to be clean and tidy and put away. Like I don't like things to be out that aren't meant to be there. I like everything to have its place. Like it's not going to happen.
No.
And I'm not naive enough to think that it is going to be that way. I'm just saying that I need to. It's going to be something that I'm going to have to face.
It's going to be a little challenge, yeah. It's going to be a little quite confronting, but
it was cool that we were able to talk about that. And I was like, just letting you know, this is probably going to be a challenge for me. Like, might need your help. And you're like, yeah, cool, all good. Like, no matter how many parenting programs I've run, I feel like there's still going to be things that, well, I know there'll be things that I'm going to learn and grow from becoming a parent.
I'm quite lost when it comes to parenting stuff, I think. So I think I'll be a great parent.
It's like,
I'm only relating it back to how I sometimes speak to the dogs. Which I could speak to them. I could speak to them a little better and see everything through kinder eyes.
Yes.
And I hope it doesn't transpire into parenthood. I definitely I know for a fact you'll be calling me up on it. And
absolutely.
I'd like to think I would absolutely not.
To give you an example,
do or like say or
if Finley's like I don't know, like he's found a bit of paper and he's ripped it up on the floor. Lewis will be like, oh, what a little dickhead. And I'll be like, oh, he's a little puppy. He's just playing. He's learning through the world by chewing things. Like, I'll just always choose to look at everything through the lens of like love, I guess. And Lewis will be like looking at it through a frustrated lens. I'm like, he is a puppy. And he's like,
as soon as you say that, I'm like, oh shit,
yeah. So I hope it'll be different when we have kids because like
I think it will be.
That's not who you are in any other context other than with the dogs. So
yeah, true.
And that's not to say that defines you how you are with the dogs because it doesn't. But
no, it doesn't.
I'm always like kind eyes, Lewis. I know. Look at them with kind eyes.
I honestly try so hard. Sometimes that little worm of a
Chihuahua. He's funny. I love him.
He's so funny. But
it's so much nicer and like freeing when you just look at him with those eyes of like, ah, innocent puppy. Like you just get less frustrated and annoyed at him. Though there's definitely been times I've been frustrated and annoyed at him and thought, you little twat. When he chewed on your mirror, anyway. Chewed everything. Next one, the biggest struggle was resentment. Yeah, there it is again, and lack of affection. This person is still learning. But yeah, lack of affection. I didn't really. Yeah, we've talked about that. Like we know that there'll be less time and connection for us too. Hey.
Yeah, and I feel like we'll always keep some sort of intimacy around how we connect. It might look a lot different.
High value about us, isn't it? Like I can't see how we would ever lose it completely, even if it's a shoulder squeeze. Like sitting next to me on the couch, like snuggling up next to me in bed while I'm feeding or like whatever. Like I feel like there'll always be something. Yeah, I think so. And if there wasn't enough, we would say, hey, I need my cup filled up.
Exactly, we'd call each other out for it.
Yeah, or just ask.
Which is great because I don't know, I love having a open line of communication and just being free, feeling like I'm free to say anything and not and ask for what I need.
Yeah, fair.
Because I've never had that before, so it's super nice.
I'll read this out as the last one.
Yeah.
I'll read it out and I'll explain what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I struggled with my ex because he could go out and make plans, but I had to always ask someone or him to have the baby. I feel like it's very, like it would, first of all, that would be extremely frustrating and challenging. So like how this mom has coped with that, like well done. Sounds very like separate. And it sounds like it's a very like old school way of dads being like not involved. Like very much kind of, mums stay home, mums change the nappies, mums do everything for baby, it's mum's responsibility, like that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
Like this is all a big assumption. We don't know the situation, but
it could have been modeled to him though.
Well, yeah, that's usually the case, right? but I feel like it's very like outdated. And I know it still exists. Obviously, this has been this person's experience. But I feel like what you were saying earlier, millennial dads and probably Gen, what's the next one?
I have no idea.
Gen
Gen Z?
Z,
Sure,
yes.
that
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
19-year-olds right now, is it?
No, they're older than that now.
I have no idea.
1996 onwards.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
So that generation is like growing and evolving a lot more present parents, dads in particular. And that's what a lot of the research is supporting now, is that like children that have more involved and active father figures are like more secure in their relationships as adults, have higher self-esteem, blah, 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 blah. So it's great that like that's the way that we're going. And I wonder if that is like because the researchers said that men are now choosing to, or because men are now choosing to, the researchers realizing that. I don't know what came first. But yeah, that would be so hard. Like I don't even feel like we need to comment on that. Like I can't ever imagine you just being like, right, I'm going out. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, literally. Imagine me going out and then never coming back for like 3 days and you've got like a 2-week-old.
That's just who's got a 2-week-old?
We.
You're already getting into character. You've got the 2-week-old, not me. It's your baby.
It's yours. You look after it.
Yeah, I really empathize with women that are experiencing relationships where dad isn't involved. Like it's hard just being pregnant. Anyway, never. I can't even imagine like having a baby and not having you involved. Like I've needed you during this pregnancy. I know I'm going to need you once baby's born.
That's kind of one of the amazing things about women, though. They're so freaking resilient.
Yeah, we are. We're pretty badass.
And like the more you learn about pregnancy, as a guy, I'm like, holy fucking shit. Ladies' bodies, women's bodies are fucking insane.
We're insane.
So cool.
Yeah,
How you just grow a little baby and then spurt milk out your tits. Like it's to feed it and give it all the nutrients that it'll ever need. And you can breastfeed for like 2 years. It's mental.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And like, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Nice to hear that perspective from a guy. Okay. There's one more I just wanted to comment on.
Yeah.
Last one.
Yeah, go for it.
This one again, talking about resentment. So it came up again. They said in the early days, resentment because life changes so much and it feels like the biggest changes for mum. And I only want to bring it up because it just supports the point that I was making. Yeah, like even like this person saying like the biggest changes for mum post-birth, like think about pre-birth, like pregnancy as well. Like I said to you the other day, like, yeah, it feels like you've been in this with me, but like you're not the one that has had to go through like all these huge changes. Like you don't have to adjust what you eat or what you drink. You don't have to buy new clothes that will fit you, like maternity clothes or bigger clothes, and like not be able to wear any of your old ones anymore. You don't have to arrange all the million health appointments and attend them, even though you do come, obviously.
Yeah.
You don't have to navigate all the changes in hormones and like all the different changes in your body. Like obviously your bump gets big, but that's not the only change that happens. You don't have to navigate morning sickness or heartburn or backache or not being able to train at the gym like you used to, or have disturbed sleep. Like there's so many things that change for a woman even before the baby is born.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think as a dad to be, I feel a little guilty because you hold so much of the responsibility for growing Bab and, fueling yourself well, getting yourself to booking all of these appointments, making sure we get into a good midwifery program, sourcing all the baby stuff, which I can help with and have
You
done.
do, yeah.
So yeah, it can be a bit of an element of guilt and like maybe first time dads feel a bit lost on what to do.
I didn't
Because
know.
like
I just figured it out as I go.
well, I know exactly. This is what I'm sort of saying, but like I feel like I've been quite proactive
Yeah, you have.
with what we're doing, but I can imagine how young parents who don't have too much support can be struggling through that, and like especially dads feeling quite lost in that.
Especially if they didn't have like dad friends as well. Like if they were the only ones having kids, like we're really lucky now that we've got so many friends to turn to.
Yeah.
Like that you could speak to your guy mates like, oh, what happens here? Or what did you do? Or
literally,
does this come up for me?
So yeah.
Good supportive male friends to
yeah,
turn to.
Yeah. It's really been a game changer having a good little community of like-minded dads who have the same sort of values and are proactive and share the same information and on yeah, everything really. Which has been good.
I did ask as well for first-time parents to share what one thing you would say is most magical or special about becoming a parent. I've literally only just posted that, so yeah, I guess like a lot of a lot of the insights from what we asked were not negative, but I asked about the struggles, so naturally it was going to be about the struggles, right? So yeah, I'm keen to hear from people like what is actually really magical and special, because I think since I've been pregnant, I've had so many people, women in particular, mums in particular, say, "Oh, just you wait until blah blah blah." Oh, just you wait, but not in a positive way. Not like, oh my God, just you wait until you fall in love with your baby and blah blah blah. Like it's always, I'll kind of come in with like a positive spin, like, yeah, I'm gonna have a natural birth, and then someone will come in and say, oh, just you wait and see though. And I'm like, okay. Less of the just you waits
and more of the
like just
what
like,
do you love?
yeah, like I'm not naive enough, like I said, to think that everything's gonna be perfect and exactly how I want it. Like I have plan A, B, C, D for birth, for parenting, and then we'll just figure the rest out.
Yeah.
But like, don't poo-poo on people's like positivity or hopes or like dreams and vision for their pregnancy and their birth. Like that's been such a big thing that keeps coming up, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm lucky that, well, I'm not lucky, like I'm really grateful that I am able to just kind of squash those in my head and be like, and like not really kind of take it on as like from their projection as my own experience. I'm like, oh, that's that was your experience, and I'm sorry that happened to you, but I'm not going to take that on as my own kind of thing. Yeah, so I'm intrigued to see what people say as like the magical special like moments of becoming a parent.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think I've been with you pretty much every time we've heard a negative comment, I guess, around it.
Not entirely. I've had a lot of work, believe it or not. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of women at work. I'm like, oh.
I think it's just a human thing though, isn't it? Focusing on the negative because they went through a negative experience. So it's just to bring you down to their level to share in the impending doom that they felt in the moment, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. But like I want to create a culture where that's not so much of a thing.
Oh, me too. I think it's important, especially for young mums to be surrounded by
It doesn't need to be young.
Well, true, yeah. Mums to be been surrounded by light and positivity, and even if, the birth doesn't go to plan, there's still a positive story around it,
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
More positivity, please. Oh, tea.
Tea?
Yeah, sorry, I just said positivity and then I thought of tea. I'd love a cup of tea.
Okay, let's go get a cup of tea.
Tea it is.
All right. Bye, Trips.
Hey guys, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate you so bloody much. You are the best.
If you enjoyed this episode, please follow us on Apple or Spotify, whatever you prefer. And don't forget to check out the Instagram page at TDHR Podcast. Information on how you can write your questions into us will also be in the show notes. Till next time. Mwah.